Hello there and welcome to my review of The Art of Bloodborne. Now this is a nice substantial book, it's got a nice weight to it, first impressions are really good, it's A4 size, it's a nice thickness to it as well. We've got about 250 pages of fantastic artwork to look at here. It's actually packed full of artwork. So I'm going to be looking through this book with you. I'll be flicking through the whole book, word of warning. And that's because I believe that most people, they want to know exactly what they're getting for their money. You know, this is not something you look through just once and discard. This is something you're buying to own and put on your shelf and enjoy at your leisure. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look through together.
This is actually the French version of the book, and it's hardback, and it's got a nice texture to it. Now the English and Japanese version are paperback, but in all other respects the books are the same, the layout is the same, the artwork is the same as the Hunter rune there. Now there are quite a few empty pages, which could have been utilised maybe a bit better, but obviously the artwork is superb in this book. I say obviously because I'm a big fan of the actual game. And here's the layout of the book, which is grouped together via location, which I really like. And there's the Hunter's Dream there. Typical Hunter garb. Beautifully drawn. And there is the rather sexy doll from the Hunter's Dream. She hangs out outside the workshop. Here she is. So you can see how the in-game asset actually compares to the concept work, and I think the 3D artists do an absolutely amazing job.
At the foot of the great tree. Go on, good hunter.
It's got a very sexy voice.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
It's got quite a sexy accent. She speaks very softly and slowly. But as you can see, the way it's been put into the game as an asset is just fantastic. And here we have the inside of the Hunter's Workshop. And again, translated beautifully into the game. And of course they've embellished the set with even more assets, with little bottles and lanterns. The amount of detail is just phenomenal. It's really interesting to see the concept. Having played the game and loved it, it's really interesting to see the actual concept work that was used. And here we have an operating table. That's one ornate operating table. I mean, if you was a 3D graphic artist, you'd be like, how am I meant to make that? But you can see the level of detail the concept artists go to. And look at this chair. It's just a chair, but they've put so much work into it. And we have some old blood, intravenous. There it is, in game. There's the chair. Looks absolutely spot on, comparing it to the concept art. One of my favourite monsters in the game. It's kind of werewolves, and you can see they've got the hands and the rear view, and you can see how they bring them to life in the game. When you see them animated, there's the rear view there. When you see them animated, it's just bring them to life so well. There we have central Yharnam. Some more pictures of Yharnam. It's the main city. When you first start the game, that's where you'll venture forth. And it's pretty tough when you first start playing. There's the main street there with the bonfire and all the villagers hanging out there. And it becomes immediately apparent they don't actually like you. And there's another view there that you'll recognise from the game. All the different outfits. That's one of my favourite outfits. It's kind of like a bird sort of outfit. And the mask sort of reminds me of the sort of masks the doctors would wear during the plague. They had these strange looking masks like that. That's why the doctors are often called quacks. Because of that sort of mask they used to wear, so they didn't get the plague. But you can see the physics for the actual garments. Again, it's been beautifully translated into the game. And it's interesting when you see a scene like this. I mean, this is literally in the game. Like they do concept work for all these different locations. There's that pig thing. That's a really cool enemy. And here we have the first boss. And again, you can see how intricate that is. I mean, the 3D modelers must have lost their mind when they saw that. Like, what do you expect from us? And there's the lamp there. That's sort of equivalent to the bonfires in Dark Souls. So that you can rest there and save your progress. And it's a real sense of joy and elation when you see one. Now, yeah, this guy hangs out in the Oedon Chapel and he's quite creepy.
I know I shouldn't be asking you, but if you happen upon someone while hunting, tell them about this here Oedon Chapel, if they seem worth being told, that is. Oh, and I do sincerely hope they are.
As you see, I mean, it sounds really creepy. And these pots, I really love these pots. I like a good pot in a video game. I can't resist smashing them. They feel so good. I've got to. Come on. Yes! Have it. It feels good sometimes just to smash things up and make a mess. Obviously, I won't do that at home. Because I'd have to clear it up. If you feel compelled to smash pots like me, a little tip, roll into them. Because if you use your weapon, it does actually degrade your weapons. Okay, this guy is really cool in the game as well. Look at his axe and the bell around his neck. And here he is, taking a little nap. And have a good look around. Oh, disturbed him. Uh-oh. He's angry. If you disturb his nap time, he gets a bit angry. Now, I'm high level now, so I can literally one-shot these guys, one hit and they're dead. But when you first start playing the game, they're actually quite tough. And she's guarding that entrance there. And there's so much lore behind this game. And there's a reason behind everything. You can really get involved in all that. That's a bell. Someone's wearing a bell on their head. And you can get most of this stuff in-game to wear yourself. You often find costumes, or you can actually kill NPCs and get their stuff. Look at the detail in there. Oh my gosh. Cathedral. It's a really nice picture, that one. Now, one thing I would say about this book, a negative for me, is, as you've noticed, there's hardly any text in here. I'd like to hear from the artists. There's one of the old ones. And I like the way you can see that they've actually done a picture there with the head removed. If you can see there's no head, so that the modelers and texture artists can see what's going on. That's a great view of Yharnam. So English and French is quite similar. There's many words that are very similar. So I can kind of... I don't read French, but... yeah, as I say, this is a hardback, and it was actually cheaper than the English version. I think the English version is still available at the time of doing this review, but they don't have a lot of copies left. Again, you'll recognise that scene from the main game. And I called this guy the Cookie Monster. I don't know why it reminds me of Sesame Street's Cookie Monster. But once you get high level, they get very timid, and they're like, I've got this one pinned in the corner here. But I really like these little guys. You might not think that, because I'm kind of torturing this one. It's like, get away from me, leave me alone. Put him out of his misery. It was a humane thing to do. But the world building in this game is phenomenal. This is Bloodstaff Beast there. It's a good boss. It makes good use of the cloth physics and I don't think this game would be as good without the Havoc engine and the physics engine. And here we have a tower. I really love that tower. It's all smashed up, and that's the thing about the world of Bloodborne. It's sort of fallen into decay, and there's a beauty in that. And here we see it the in-game. This is one of my favourite areas in the game, actually. God, they make a lot of noise, don't they? They're completely crazy. That's what happens if you drink too much of the old blood. You go a bit doolally. They seem happy enough though, they're just dancing around. One of the ladies there, with a lantern. Some lovely work there. And this scene here, and even the roof in this scene, is beautifully rendered in the game. You can see it there. And they've literally taken that piece of artwork and recreated it here. I find it fascinating to see that, just how much work the concept artists do. And I think you do find that with a really good game like this. Got 10 out of 10 scores. It's one of my favourite games of all time. And you do find with games like that when it comes to the world building and the game design, they really do spend a lot of time making sure that they have really good design work to back it up. I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. And this windmill, again, you find it, lovingly recreated in the game. And some people just walk past these things. I don't even notice them. Oh wait a minute, I've got to deal with this crow. Here we go. I love the way they're just crawling around on the floor. They always subvert your expectations. And here we go. Let's have a look at this windmill in the game. Again, it's a really nice area. My mate Kyle, he came into it. You can actually play with other people. They can come into your world and help you. And he was helping me out. And I said, Kyle, look at this windmill. And he's like, what windmill? Since he rushes through the game so quickly. And here was the inside of the windmill. So, they don't just show the outside and leave it to the environmental artists to do the inside. They do a picture inside as well, so the artists have got a lot to work with. makes their life a lot easier. Well, easier in one respect, but harder in another, because I've got to recreate it all. But obviously the concept work is just a basis for them to work from. That, you know, there's so much extra stuff they've got to do. Now these tombstones, let me look at the size. I've got a human figure there to give a sense of scale. They normally have like little figures. And these are massive tombstones. And that's such a cool idea. I mean, here you can see they're not quite as big in the actual game, but they're still so impressively detailed. I mean, whose idea was it to have these gigantic tombstones? But it's just, again, they subvert your expectations. You know, you've got birds crawling around on the floor, gigantic tombstones. You never know what to expect. There's so much imagination. They just run wild with it. And that spider guy, he actually talks to you. He's really creepy. He's not to be trusted, though. Don't trust him. So that's a very nice picture, that one. Just look at the detail. Well, again, as a environmental artist, you might look at that and go, "Oh my God, I'm going to be working late tonight." I love that helmet there. I love that the way they show things all busted and broken, and you get that sense that at one point in time these places must have looked fantastic and they've all fallen into decay. And again, you can see the physics here on this guy, all these garments. And it does actually make me wonder, with the new consoles with their better CPUs, how much better the physics and destructible environments are going to become. Can't wait to find out. There's a monster. There's some of the bosses in the game are like hidden away. You can actually completely miss them. And there's a little pencil drawing there, or outline drawing, and that's quite interesting. So it makes you wonder about how this art was developed. You know, how the artist approached it, and what inspiration they used. Again, that's what's really missing from the book. That's a really weird creature in the game. I'd love to hear from the artists, you know, and there's so much blank space where they could put a lot of text, you know, interviews and things like that. But yeah, another line drawing there for a boss. I mean, do they do that with all the artwork? Lovely view there. Yeah, now these levers, most games seem to have levers of some kind, and Bloodborne is no exception, but they are beautifully ornate. Here's one working. There's lots of lifts in this game. Oh, another crow. I don't think he's going to get to me. And most of the lifts, this lift is actually, I don't know if you noticed, but even this lift is in the book. And look at that ceiling there, that vaulted ceiling. And this guy here throws rocks at you. He's pretty cool. But this ceiling, like, there's so much work in that. I mean, a lot of people don't even look up, so they don't see it. I always look up. Little light shafts coming in there, it's all broken. That's why I like to take my time with these games. Like my mate Carl was always laughing at me. He's like, "What are you doing back there? Stop looking at the trees." That's a really weird... there's lore behind all of this stuff, you know, but it's a really weird looking helmet. I mean, why would you put that on your head? That's in the game, really. That's one of the boss arenas. There's a little pram there. Some of the lore gets a bit weird. That's a beautiful picture, that. And I bought the Game of the Year edition with the Hunter expansion included. And that's all the artwork for that's in here as well. Here's one of the ancient ones. Yeah, really weird looking. That's one of the things I like about this game, is that there's some things you don't see when you first start the game, but as your sort of perception increases, you start to see things you hadn't seen before, and you're like, "Oh my god, that was there all this time, and I didn't know." It's like, if it is in the game. I mean, there's a huge amount of work just in this, like this one creature. All the joints and the limbs, and look at those hairy elbows. That's disgusting. Love that sense of scale. I mean, I think with the new consoles, we're going to get even more, like, a greater sense of scale. The levels are going to open up even more. You can see loads of design work there for the modelers to work to. Look at that castle. That is just... that's a lovely bit of work. So many ornate chandeliers and lanterns. They've even gone to the trouble of creating all these portraits. They put in frames and put on the walls. I just can't get enough of that attention to detail. And this is a fantastic book to own if you love the game, because the artwork is so good. Again, I just wish there was more. I heard more from the artists themselves and the game designers, and, you know, their experience working on this project, their inspiration and the challenges they faced, and how they kept themselves motivated and inspired, and their references. Here we have the Chalice Dungeons. Underneath Yharnam you have this ancient labyrinth. This is where the blood of the old ones came from. Started all the madness. And this guy here, he's great to fight actually. I really enjoyed fighting him. He throws fireballs at you. Again, more pictures from the Chalice Dungeons. And in most games that would be like an expansion or DLC, but that's in the Chalice Dungeons are in the main game. I love the dynamic sort of wind there in the hair of that creature, and I love a good chest. That's a sign of a good game. You've got an ornate chests. Now this is I used to wear this outfit all the time. I just love that outfit. If you look at the detail in that, I think without the cloth physics and the Havoc engine, you couldn't really do it. I mean, here you see it in the game, and you can see the lanterns as well, with the messengers around them. I mean, look at that detail. It's all been modelled and textured. Rigged. It's just amazing to me, and the amount of time just to do that. And the artist must be really skilled and work so efficiently. Fantastic stuff. And it's not just that one outfit. I mean, there's so many outfits and weapons in this game. There's not as many weapons as Dark Souls, but they are really unique looking and interesting. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of lore behind that. Actually, that would actually make a nice tattoo, that picture. But obviously you'd have to love the game quite a lot to have a Bloodborne tattoo. Although I'm sure there are people that have them. There's one of the bosses from the Hunter DLC. I have the laboratory. And that central column spins around with all those staircases on them. You can see it there, shown there. Kind of spins around. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and the Hunter DLC it's just as good as the main game, in every way. I mean, look at this. This is the fishing Hamlet, and yeah, I mean, you can see it. Oh, you can see that there, that in the background, how they used that asset. I can't resist knocking over the stones. The voice work is so good.
Blasphemous murders, blood-crazed fiends. Atonement for the wretches by the wrath of Mother Goss. Mercy for the poor wasn't child.
This is sort of a cursed fishing village.
Oh, please.
And this guy's complaining, he's not happy. No, I've never actually attacked this guy. So maybe one day I'll give it a go. He'll probably kick my ass. He'll probably transform into some like big demon or something. I love the mistiness. Oh, it's so nice. So much atmosphere in the game. It's just dripping with atmosphere. And that well's in the game as well. You can actually go down into the well. It's all fish everywhere on the floor. Everything's wet and slimy. And this character, you're from the beach. If you played the game, you'll recognise that's a really good part in the game, actually. More outfits. And when you start the game, there's quite a few weapons in the game, but when you start, you can choose from a selection. And I went for this sort of cleaver, spiky meat cleaver thing that opens up. Now there's guns in the game, but they don't do a lot of damage. They're really just for staggering enemies, so you can do finishes on them. Basically, you can use the guns to parry attacks. I really like that big hammer thing. I mean, look at the detail in it. It's even got all the little rune texts on the side of it. And those weapons actually transform. They have two sort of forms you can use them. Lovely weapon designs. And I really like this weapon. It's kind of like a whip. Kind of transforms. It's pretty cool. I love the weighty animations. That's the thing about a lot of games. the animations don't have a lot of kind of impact and weight to them, but in Bloodborne they sure do. They get the melee combat so right in Bloodborne and the Souls games. And here we have the pizza cutter, that's what I call it anyway. Here we have it in the game. And you can rev it up. It's... Anyone for pizza? Anyone want a slice of pizza? That's a fun weapon. That's what I like about Bloodborne. The weapons are all kind of really unique and different. And there's the bow in the game. I hardly used the bow actually. I want to play through again using that. There's a moon sword that kind of glows. You saw that earlier. It's a lovely looking weapon. And here we have the icons from the game. There's loads of work in these. And it gives you some idea of all the different things you can pick up. The keys, goblets, there's the runes. So yeah, that's it. As you see, unfortunately there's no interviews, hardly any text, but some fantastic art. And here we are, the end of the book.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed looking through the book with me. I hope you agree there's some fantastic artwork in here. Yeah, so as long as you can still pick up a copy, I would definitely recommend getting it. Now, on a personal note, as you may have noticed, I have grown a beard. This is kind of new for me. We are in lockdown in the UK at the moment, so I'm not going anywhere. I thought, well, why bother shaving? I've been a bit lazy, but I quite like it, I think. My next door neighbour, he's also growing a beard, and he's older than me, and his is completely grey. He actually looks like a castaway. And he said to me, yeah, I feel like a castaway, like we're all sort of marooned in our homes. But yeah, I'm growing grey as well. I didn't realise that. I was like, getting older. My girlfriend thinks I should dye the grey bits, but I don't know. Looking at my neighbour, it made him look quite distinguished. So yeah, I think I may just leave it as it is. But anyway, enough about me. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video and you've got time, feel free to check out some of my other videos. I'll put links up here to my other videos. So if any of those take your fancy, check those out. I have other videos for art books and computer games and headsets as well if you need a headset. Okay, well thanks for watching the video and stay safe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.